When I was 8, father brought home a thin, frail girl. He told me she was his gift to me, a maid. He said I must treat her well. I treated her like a sister. We ate together, slept together, and I even shared my naughty picture scrolls with her. Watching her ears turn redder and redder, I said earnestly, "No need to be shy. This is just for our own fun." Later, that maid turned out to be the crown prince. Ignoring my pleas, he kept moving, whispering, "Elder sister, the night is still young. Let me keep making you happy, won't I?" 1. I was born into this ancient world through transmigration. When I first came out, I was dazed, staring wide-eyed at everything around me. Then the midwife spanked my bottom, and I burst into tears. I heard father laugh loudly outside. Listen to that cry. Strong as a little warrior, just like me. I had a whole sentence I wanted to yell, but I couldn't speak yet. Even then, I had a feeling my life in this world wouldn't be peaceful. Not long after I was born, mother fell ill and died. Father poured all his love into me. His only request for me was simple. He didn't care if I mastered poetry, painting, or music. He just wanted me to live safely and healthily. I thought this would let me laze around peacefully like a salted fish. Nope. As soon as I could sit up, father taught me to meditate. As soon as I could stand, he drilled me in horse stance. I leaned weakly against a pillow, head hanging down. Father bragged to the wet nurse. "Look at my daughter's concentration, just like me." The wet nurse's face turned pale and she roared, "What concentration? She's passed out from hunger." Guys, you have no idea. I looked like I was meditating. In reality, I'd already checked out hours ago. When I got older, father thought the private school was too slow and rigid, so he hired a tutor to teach me at home. I started to feel touched, secretly happy I could slack off. Then I heard him say, "Satisfied. Now Moa can practice martial arts the rest of the time." Me, after years of non-stop training from father, when I turned 8, I threw a whole set of punches on the street to stop a bully, and became famous in the capital in the most unexpected way. Father was so happy he ate 3 extra bowls of rice that night. He announced to everyone that I would run the household from now on. I cried rivers. Father patted my head. "Look how happy Moa is, she's crying." I hated it. Why was there no minor protection law in ancient times? Other 8-year-olds were still playing in the mud. I had to run an entire mansion. I sighed and accepted my fate. That day, I finished my studies and my martial arts practice, finally stealing half a day to rest. Father hadn't come home in ages. I heard something big had happened in the palace. The crown prince had been framed and crippled. He'd never been favored by the emperor anyway, so the emperor deposed him without hesitation. It was said the crown prince died of hatred within days. Still, to save the royal family's face, the emperor ordered father to investigate the truth. Honestly, he didn't care at all. If he'd really wanted to solve it, he would have sent the Ministry of Justice. Why would he send my brute force warrior father? But father was too honest to see through it. He was out every day, chasing the case. I swayed back and forth in my rocking chair, then moved the fan from my forehead and looked up when I heard footsteps. When I saw it was father, I jumped up to run and hug him, but my steps froze when I saw the figure behind him. It was a young girl, thin and small, wearing decent fabric, her hair done up neatly, her face pale and pretty, but for some reason, she looked sickly white. Father rubbed his hands. Awkward. "Daughter, this is," I blinked twice. "Cut him off, illegitimate daughter." Father's weathered, dark face actually flushed. "What are you talking about? Impossible." My eyelids jumped hard. I swallowed and asked, "Then, is she father's new love, my future stepmother?" Father's face turned even redder, veins popping as he roared, "Nonsense. This is a maid I found for you, too." This time, I was stunned. I let out a dumb ah, tucking a strand of hair behind my ear. "If she's a maid, just say so. You were acting so weird." I assumed the worst. I looked back at the girl. She was looking at me too, eyes curious and amused. When I met her gaze, she flinched and bowed her head. as if scared. Father stroked his beard, still stumbling over his words. This is, I was completely confused, more suspicious than ever. Father was straightforward and impatient. He hated people who couldn't spit out a sentence. I'd never seen him act like this. This humble girl is the daughter of a friend of Lord Cheng's. The girl finally spoke up, unable to watch anymore. My family suffered a sudden disaster, and I was left homeless. Lord Cheng took pity on me and let me serve the young lady as her maid. I nodded, scoffing. That's all. Why couldn't father just say that? Father touched his nose, didn't argue, only said, anyway, even though she's a maid, you must treat her well, understand, not a stepmom, not a half-sister stealing my inheritance. My smile turned genuine. I agreed. I walked over, about to take her hand, but father cut me off. He glared at me. You're a young lady. What are you doing holding her hand? Me. I scratched my head. When I went out with Sister Wang before, we held hands picking flowers, and you never said anything. What's wrong with you today? He opened his mouth, then sputtered. If you still consider me your father, don't hold her hand. Father fumbled for another word. It's unseemly, I pouted. Fine, fine. Come with me. Then, we walked a long way, and I still heard father yelling anxiously behind us. No holding hands, you hear me, unseemly. I waved my hand. As soon as we turned the corner, I grabbed her hand in a flash. Long, soft, white, so nice to touch. As a total hand fetishist, I was obsessed, feeling her stiffen. I thought she was scared of father finding out. I patted her hand proudly, comforting her. It's okay, father won't do anything to you. I run this house. I rubbed her hand like a hooligan, admiring it. Seriously, how do you keep your hands so pretty? She pulled her hand away, voice stiff. Born this way. I looked at my own short, chubby hands. So unfair. I cleared my throat and asked, what's your name? She hesitated. As someone guilty of misfortune, I cannot share my surname. My given name is Yang. Now that I've entered the Cheng Manor, I begged the young lady to give me a new name. I nodded, thought for a long time, then said, you're pretty, your hands are pretty, and you came to my house in winter. How about glutinous rice cake? 3. I licked my lips. That's my favorite snack lately. Just talking about it makes me crave it. I turned to my maid beside me. Xiao Dao, take her to get changed. She hesitated. Young miss, her name is proper, is mine, a little inappropriate. I didn't care. Oh, your full name is Peach Crisp, shortened to Xiao Dao. She fell silent and left with Xiao Dao a few steps away. I remembered father's warning and added, and tell Sesame Ball and Almond due to clean the room next to mine for Nuo. Father had to go to the military camp that night, so I ordered the servants to bring dinner to my courtyard. During the meal, I sent everyone else away, leaving only Xiao Dao and her. I tilted my chin. Sit. She shook her head. Young miss, this is against the rules. I stood up, pushed her to the table, and pressed her into a chair. No rules here with me. I spoke plainly. Your fingertips are clean, no calluses. You're either from a wealthy family or a scholarly one. Her dark eyes locked onto mine. What does young miss mean? I sighed. I can tell just by looking at you. Her voice turned cold. Tell what? I rolled my eyes. That you're not cut out to be a maid. Her clenched fists relaxed. Her expression went from shocked to relieved. I scratched my head. Relieved. Weird. My small brain couldn't handle overthinking, so I just said what I was thinking. Father said he found you and you're my maid, but he kept telling me to take care of you. You don't look like you've ever served anyone. Being a maid would waste you. So I plan to tell everyone you're my cousin from my mother's side, staying with us temporarily. How does that sound? She lowered her eyes. Whatever young miss decides. I was very pleased with how obedient she was. Glutinous rice cake is so sensible. Her mouth twitched. Young miss, please call me a shorter name. I nodded. Okay, Nuo. Maybe it was my imagination, but her mouth twitched even harder. For, in the evening, it suddenly started to drizzle. I had nothing to do, so I sat by the window listening to the rain. Glutinous rice cake came in with a plate of snacks. She asked, "What are you doing, young miss?" I closed my eyes and held up a finger. "Shesh, listen." She blinked blankly. I kept my eyes closed. "I hear raindrops falling on the green grass." Her. I turned and looked at her. She looked genuinely confused, not faking it. I sighed in disappointment. She was acting so weird earlier. I thought she was a transmigrator like me. Nope. I leaned close to her, changing the subject. "What snacks are those? They smell good." "Osmanthus cakes, just made, still warm. Try one, young miss." I sighed even harder. She looked at me confused. I explained, "You're my cousin now. Calling me young miss all the time looks strange." She fell silent. I took her little hand while I had the chance. "If I take you to a banquet someday and you slip up and call me young miss, people with long tongues will think I'm treating you like a servant on purpose." Her body tensed. She tried to pull her hand away, but I was stronger. She gave up struggling, lowered her head, and whispered, "I come from a guilty slave's background. It's not proper for me to show my face in public." "What's improper about it?" "I already asked father. You've never been seen in the capital. No one will recognize you. And I'll be right there with you. They don't dare gossip behind your back." She still hesitated. I slung an arm around her shoulders, stuffed a piece of Osmanthus cake into her mouth while she was gaping in surprise, and smiled sweetly. "Don't worry, I've got everything covered." I raised an eyebrow. Nuo, your frame is a little broad. Did your family never make you wear a binding corset? In this dynasty, the fashion was for that fragile, sickly beauty, like Shizzy holding her heart, just like how the Qing loved bound feet. Some families forced their daughters into tight corsets to stop their bones from developing, keeping them thin and delicate. When I first learned to walk, a servant asked father if I should start wearing one. Father refused without hesitation. "No, what's pretty about being as thin as a chick?" I'd breathed a sigh of relief. When I was older and understood, father was terrified I'd copy the other girls. He brainwashed me non-stop, soft and hard. "Daughter, don't learn from them. You're already beautiful just like this." Then he'd work himself up and start spouting nonsense. "If you dare wear a corset, I'll disown you." I was a little speechless, but promised him over and over I'd never wear one. Only then did he relax. I thought I was the only weird one among the noble ladies. Until I met her. "Your family didn't make you wear one either," she mumbled indistinctly. I nodded. "Your family really cares about you. Good call not wearing it. That thing is terrible for you. And you're pretty, with a broad frame." "Maybe." My gaze drifted downward, landing on her chest. If she developed properly, she could be a stunning, curvy, mature beauty. Once we got close, burying my face in her chest and begging for hugs would be a piece of cake. It wasn't like I had bad intentions. I just wanted to cuddle with a pretty sister. "Cousin, what are you thinking?" She changed her address mid-sentence, her expression hard to describe. "Your smile is really..." She didn't finish, but I knew what she meant. "Lewd." I wiped my mouth. "Good, no drool." I cleared my throat, my eyes rolling, and smiled at her again. "You just moved in. Cousin, why don't we sleep together tonight to bond?" 5. Nuo rejected my sleepover request flat out, and threw one of father's lines at me. "It's unseemly." I scratched my head. Why did everyone keep saying I was unseemly? No one complained when I did this with Sister Wang next door. I glanced up at glutinous rice cake's face, and suddenly understood. It must be because she was pretty. They were all biased, thought sleeping with her was insulting to her. Definitely. I stared at her beautiful face, green with envy. I rubbed my hands together, grinning like a total pervert. "Hey, little beauty, you're sleeping with me tonight." I'd practiced martial arts since birth. There was no way I couldn't subdue a weak girl. Half an hour later, I was pinned under her on the bed. We were both breathless after fighting. She held my wrists down, sounding helpless and quiet. "Cousin, stop messing around." I fell silent. Damn it, she looked thin and weak, but she was all muscle. I pressed my lips together. Can you get off me first? You're heavy. She realized she'd been rude, quickly rolled off, and stood as far from me as possible. I rubbed my wrists and sat up. I caught sight of her red ear tips. Before I could speak, she said first, "It's late, I'm leaving." With that, she fled like she was running for her life. Didn't even close the door. I smiled a mysterious, knowing smile. Early the next morning, she shrieked when she woke up. I rubbed my eyes, poked my head out of her covers, and mumbled, "Why are you yelling? It's still early, let's sleep more." She pointed at me. "What are you doing in my bed?" I said it like it was obvious. "You didn't lock the door." Early the third morning, same thing. She broke down. "I did lock the door. How did you get in?" I pointed at the window. Fourth day, same again. Before she could ask, I obediently pointed at the big hole in the roof. Then she surrendered. She drew a clear line down the middle of the bed. "You can't tell Lord Cheng we sleep together, and you can't cross this line at night. No funny business." Her shy, flustered expression didn't look fake. I was a little speechless. "You're overthinking it, cousin. I like men." Her face turned red and white. Finally, she glared at me. "Sleep. 6. To get my curvy beauty sooner." I started stuffing Cheng Nuo with food non-stop. Cheng Nuo was the name she'd chosen for herself. She said, "Since I'm your cousin now, glutinous rice cake doesn't really suit me anymore. If you still want to call me Nuo Nuo, could I take the surname Cheng and be Cheng Nuo?" I thought it was just okay, not as nice as glutinous rice cake, but she made sense. I always listened to reason, so I agreed, mainly because I couldn't beat her in a fight. Father found out we were sleeping together not long after. That day he chased me around the courtyard dozens of times, angry but too soft to scold me, only repeating over and over that I was unseemly. Then Cheng Nuo said something to him. He looked back and forth between us with a complicated expression, sighed at last, and let it go. I rubbed my bottom, stung from the bamboo whip, and asked her seriously, "Why does father listen to you? Are you really father's secret little concubine?" This time she got mad. She didn't chase or hit me, just flicked my forehead. Her expression looked fierce, but it didn't hurt at all. My heart beat weirdly fast for no reason. Days passed like this. Soon I would be turning 15. Cheng Nuo knocked, waited for my answer, then pushed the door open. I was lying on the bed flipping through a book. I looked up, blinked at her. "Did you finally agree to sleep with me again?" She avoided the question. "The Prime Minister's daughter is holding a flower viewing banquet in 2 days. She sent an invitation for you, after sleeping together for a while." She stopped calling me cousin and just called me elder sister. I pouted and let out a disappointed "oh." We hadn't slept together in a long time. One morning, half asleep, I grabbed a stick on the bed. I said to her, "It's been so long and you still keep a weapon in here, and you didn't even hide it." It poked me. After that, she refused to sleep with me no matter what. I only teased her a little. "So petty," she added. "Elder sister, your clothes are getting old. You should have new ones made." I flipped a page, refusing without thinking. "No need. Those people don't like me anyway. Why should I dress up for them? They don't deserve it." She sighed, about to say something, then her attention was caught by the book in my hand. "What are you reading, elder sister?" This." I waved the book, smiled mysteriously, and slowly said 3 words, "Adult pictures." 7. Cheng Nuo's eyes nearly popped out of her head. She could barely speak. What did you say you're reading?" I didn't care. "Adult pictures." She turned to stone. I scratched my head. These weren't even as exciting as the novels and comics I'd seen on websites back home. Besides, in ancient dramas, nurses always taught the heroine this stuff before marriage. Why did she look like she'd been struck by lightning? While she was still stunned, I pulled her down to sit, grabbed her hand, and spoke earnestly. "You're almost 15 too. I need to tell you something. There's nothing to be ashamed of reading these. Learning these positions is for our own pleasure, to make ourselves feel good. I stuffed the book into her hand, cheerful. Xiao Dao worked hard to buy this for me. You can borrow it, no need to thank me. Her eyes darkened. She said quietly, faintly, I had no idea you were already in such a hurry to marry. I was confused. I'm not in a hurry at all, I mumbled to myself inwardly. I haven't even finished developing yet. Why would I rush? Speaking of developing, I looked her up and down. All these years, I'd saved her the best of every tasty meal. I was starting to get curves, but all her nutrition went to the wrong places. Her chest stayed completely flat. She just kept getting taller, nearly as tall as father now. I started worrying. What kind of family would marry her? A giant's family. She pressed her lips together and asked, What kind of man do you like, elder sister? I shook my head. Haven't thought about it. Father hasn't mentioned marriage to me. If he's not in a hurry, I'm not either. I was a little puzzled. What was wrong with her today? Why was she asking me this? But I quickly figured it out. She must be almost 15 too, wanting to find a good family, but too shy to say it directly, so she was hinting. I saw right through her little thoughts. So that night at dinner, with father right there, I couldn't wait to speak up. Father, Nuo will soon be 15 too. Keep an eye out in court for a tall, good family. I want to marry Nuo off in style. Both of them spat out their rice. Father pointed at me, sputtering. Why you? Cheng Nuo's expression was dark and unreadable. She gave me a deep look and ground out between her teeth. Thank you for your kindness, elder sister. Weirdos. 8. After dinner, father said he had something to say to Cheng Nuo. He winked at me. I glued my butt to the stool. What can't I hear? They exchanged a glance. Then made excuses and left one after the other. Me. Cheng Nuo started going out often. Father too. Sometimes Cheng Nuo would bring me little trinkets when she came back, but I still sulked. I spoke sourly, in a mocking tone. I wonder who told me earlier that I was from a guilty slave background and shouldn't show myfacnpublic tilde. Cheng Nuo laughed softly. Then why don't you come with me next time? I played dead and flopped onto the bed. I've merged with the bed. No one can tear us apart, she smiled. I blew her a flirtatious look. It's late. Why don't you stay tonight and sleep with me, little sister? She rolled her eyes. I pressed my lips together, caught her off guard, and swept her legs out from under her, pinning her down on the bed. I'll say this up close. She looked even prettier. But why was my heart beating faster and faster? I swallowed, about to grin like a pervert and tease her, when I felt something hard pressing against me from below. I stared. She realized too, and whatever she thought of made her face turn pale. She shoved me off her. The bed was soft. I rolled and rolled to the side. I sat up and looked at her. Her lips trembled. Elder sister. Actually I cut her off first. It's been this long and you still carry that stupid stick, she choked, rolled her eyes, and left. I sat on the bed, called after her retreating back. The flower banquet in 2 days, are you coming with me? She didn't say yes, didn't say no. That night, I tossed and turned, unable to sleep, thinking about why my heart had raced so much earlier. In a flash, a thought hit me. I shot straight up in bed. Oh no, I think I'm gay. 9. It only took me a few seconds to accept I might be into girls and mentally prepare myself. What can I say? I go with the flow, but to make sure, I started clinging to Cheng Nuo non-stop, including but not limited to, randomly gushing over her at dinner. Nuo is so cute, handing her a little pouch when she went out. Brought you something. Come back soon. I was acting so much like that lovesick peacock Gu Yanzhuang from the drama that even I cringed. I finally confirmed, I was definitely into girls. This dynasty was pretty open. Men had relationships with each other, and women did too. Just more quietly. Now that I knew my heart, I decided to court her. I told Xiao Dao to buy me the finest fabrics to make new clothes. I was going to be the most stunning one at the banquet. Little thing, I'll make you fall for me. But before the banquet, the capital flipped upside down, the emperor fell gravely ill, and the third prince rebelled, Chaos raged outside. Father hadn't come home for days. I was scared and wanted Cheng Nuo with me, but the maids told me she hadn't been back in ages. I lost my temper for the first time. Why didn't you watch her? The war is everywhere. What if something happens to a girl like her? The maids were frightened. They whispered. Miss Cheng left with the general. We thought you knew. I calmed down. If she'd left with father, he would protect her. Still uneasy, I snuck out after dark. Bodies littered the streets. The stench was unbearable. War was always this cruel. No matter when, I crept carefully toward the palace. The fighting had stopped. Soldiers were clearing the battlefield. My heart tightened. I stuck to the walls in my night black clothes, not daring to show myself. I only relaxed when I saw someone familiar. I hurried over. Uncle Song. Uncle Song saw me and grinned. Concerned. What are you doing here? I was worried about you. I paused. Where's father? Inside. It's the palace. I'll take you. I nodded. Never thought I'd step foot in the imperial palace in my life. Father was covered in blood. He stared at me in shock. What are you doing here? Uncle Song answered for me. She was worried about you. I answered guiltily. Father, are you hurt? He scoffed. They can't touch me. I sighed in relief and asked what mattered most. Where's Nuo Nuo? She came with you, didn't she? Where is she? A voice I knew, now deeper, rang out. Your Highness is here. Are you looking for me, elder sister? I turned toward the voice. Cheng Nuo stood there in a long men's robe.
Girls. So the next night, he climbed over the wall in women's clothes. Elder sister. Will this do? Damn it. He had me wrapped around his finger. Still. I held on to a sliver of sense and held back from pouncing. Maybe he got tired of coaxing me. He didn't come for days. I hugged my quilt, feeling sour. Men's mouths are full of lies. Only a few days and he already gave up. I didn't need him anyway. I could dump him first. I rolled over and decided to find a husband at the flower banquet. 11. The ill-fated flower banquet was finally held. I wore the new clothes I'd made, fluttered in like a butterfly, and entered with my invitation. But I regretted it as soon as I arrived. The noble ladies started chattering like parrots in my ear. Oh, isn't that Miss Cheng? I heard old General Cheng helped protect the throne. Why hasn't she been married off yet? Well, Miss Cheng is quite sturdy, probably hard for any man to handle. Xiao Dao was so angry she wanted to argue. I held her back. I patted her shoulder. Not worth it. They're just jealous I have a nice figure and big breasts. Sour grapes. I didn't want to stay anyway. I was about to leave when Xin Yang's voice came from behind me. Miss Cheng does not need to be handled by a man. Instead, this highness is willing to be handled by her. Everyone else knelt quickly. Only I stood there with my back to him. He tugged my sleeve. No words needed. It was our old signal. Whoever was angry would tug the other's sleeve to make peace, to give each other a way out. My heart softened after all. I whispered, "This isn't the place to talk. Let's go somewhere else." He held on to my sleeve and wouldn't let go. Elder sister, I really didn't mean to lie to you for so long. I was indeed poisoned back then. But I recovered quickly. The mastermind was too well hidden. So father and mother made up the whole story, said I'd died from the poison, to lure the killer out. They stayed quiet for far too long. Only when father pretended he was dying and still hadn't named an heir did they finally lose patience and rebel. I really didn't mean to keep it from you. Elder sister, I stayed silent for a long time. He looked at me eagerly. I truly love you. We slept together so many times. You have to take responsibility for me. Me, I sighed and gave in. If you put it that way, what else can I say? Joy spread slowly in his eyes. He pulled me into his arms. I swear to heaven I will take no concubines, no harem, only you, for my whole life. If I break this vow, may heaven strike me dead. 12. Shenyang rushed to the emperor to grant the marriage at once. The news that I would be crown princess spread through the streets in half a day. On our wedding day, father took my hand, his eyes wet. Live well from now on, if the crown prince ever dares to wrong you. Come back to father. I don't care if he's the crown prince or not, I only want my daughter safe and happy. My eyes stung. The dragon phoenix candles burned bright. Shenyang lifted my red veil, and we drank the nuptial wine together. Rain pattered outside the chamber, muffling my soft sobs and pleas. I clung to his shoulders, trying to stop him, but it was useless. I could only beg quietly, Shenyang, I can't anymore. He breathed low against my ear. Elder sister, the night is still young. Why don't we try a few more positions from those pictures? Before I could refuse, his lips covered mine.